Hi there, you're with English Coach. I'm Simon and I'm here to talk to you today about the compound effect and how the compound effect compares to other methods of life improvement. So, the first question we need to ask ourselves here is what is the compound effect and how does it work? Well, basically, the compound effect starts with one thing, and that is a smart decision about something in your routine, about an activity or a task that will probably have to repeat itself during a day or a week or a month and therefore become a habit. As you probably have heard, a habit can take up to 30 days or 1 month for you to really acquire before it starts becoming more natural. And that's if you're doing it pretty much every day. So imagine the things that you're not doing every day. They are probably going to require more time. So, in some cases, we're talking about things like the way you brush your teeth, or the way you take a shower, or the way you prepare yourself for bed at night, as these things can have direct impacts on your health, hygiene, and well being. I think they make pretty good examples for this case. As we get into the realm of habits, it is suggested in the Compound Effect book that after 3 months, the habit can become a behavior. That means after 3 months of repeating this habit and hopefully building on the habit, you have a new behavior, which means that it's slightly more automatic. You're thinking a lot less as you're doing that task or activity because it is has already found a tunnel in your brain, or it has found a short circuit, a way to get to that information quicker than having to a firstly be aware, b make the certain considerations, and then c get into action. It is something that you automatically do at one time during the day. Okay, the next point is that a behavior can be acquired in 3 months, but the aim of the game, or the aim of the book, The Compound Effect, is for you to be able to acquire the lifestyle, which is when there's no longer a question if you do that thing or you don't do that thing. It's more of a natural way of being in your life. It's the lifestyle, and generally happens after a year. Although in the book they suggest 6 months, I think it makes more sense to basically commit yourself to that habit over a year. Now, what actually happens is, like I said, a lot of things are not practiced every day. Therefore, they're going to take longer to become habits, and then behaviors, and then lifestyles. But the idea is fantastic. Okay? And of course, there is the added idea that you will have to augment or improve that habit over time, not just repeat or continue. Okay? Some points to be evaluated are that the compound effect is great as it allows you to ramp up your efforts over time instead of committing huge effort in the beginning and possibly sabotaging yourself if you're a perfectionist, and even if you're not a perfectionist. I think one of the key things here that they state early on in the book is that the compound effect equals consistency over intensity and frequency. Now, I agree with that first part because I think intensity in the beginning doesn't necessarily give you the advantages that you want to have. All it does is release a high level of energy in a short burst, and it doesn't necessarily, or isn't necessarily, going to guarantee you incredible results. But one thing that I did take a little bit of disagreement to was frequency. And the reason why I cannot 100% agree that frequency should be taken out of the equation and it should just be about consistency is the more often you do that thing, the faster you build proficiency in that. And also the faster you scale your learning curve, or you climb that learning curve to get better. Why do I suggest that? Well, basically, I suggest that frequency is important. You know, we could be comparing something here like learning a new sport, learning an instrument, or even doing dance classes. And then you see yourself after those initial 8 weeks or even 3 months, as you're turning it into a behavior, there's still a lot of things to iron out in your technique, whatever it is. The higher your frequency is during that time, the more you're adapting and correcting the way you're doing it. And therefore, you're looking better to yourself and others in a shorter period of time. Now, that would not really matter if it wasn't for the fact that we live in a generation obsessed with appearances. So the earlier you're looking good, the better, and could possibly, in many cases, contribute to your consistency. If you are one of those people that needs that extra, let's say, incentive of looking good slightly earlier. So putting in that extra time. In terms of intensity and the length of time, I'm completely in agreement that they are less contributing to the success, to the end result, or the essential success that you're going to get from committing yourself to consistency and at least a good frequency, at least the kind of frequency that makes the habit a behavior and then a lifestyle in a shorter span of time. That's my comment on that today. That's my only criticism of it. When we take a more popular and very, very aggressive method like 10X by Grant Cardone, who's a fantastic businessman, a fantastic sales mentor. When we take his philosophy, 10X massive action, and compare it with the compound effect, a lot of people would say they kind of clash. They go against each other, which could be a really negative thing, right? Because you want to have that motivation, you want to have that killer instinct when you're going into something new. And here the compound effect is telling you to pace yourself. On the other hand, the 10X rule is telling you to go all in and just put everything into it, and all of your energy and all of your creativity. It's wrong to compare these things. I think you can pretty much be certain that it's wrong to compare these two things, because I think the idea is what upright in your life requires massive action. They don't usually, we're not usually talking about the same things here. When we're talking about micro habits and little ways of improving your routine and improving your daily habits and turning them into a healthier lifestyle, it's more about the compound effect. And when we're talking about initiating something big that requires all of your skills, energy, and qualities, we're talking about the 10X factor or the 10 times rule. So the idea that you need to really get out of this for yourself is that you must use something extreme like the 10X rule for starting something new that requires all of your energies, and you need to use the compound effect to stay consistent at habits or behaviors that are crucial to your success. You know, one is about consistency and things that should remain consistent in nature, and the other thing is about opening possibilities and creating something new that will probably later require the compound effect methodology as well. Thank you for being here today, and I hope that you follow my channel, like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video if possible.